Our garden and our homestead chickens are super important. They're really easy to take care of, and the one thing is you got to raise them from babies. So this is how we raise our baby chicks and turn them into these guys. Let's get into the chickens. So first of all, you've decided you want to get chickens. Congratulations. Or you're thinking about it. Good job. And you're on a path for self-sufficiency. Now we want to think about what time of year. And it doesn't really matter. There are times of years that are easier than others. And right now it is the very end of summer, which is the first time we've really got chicks this time of year. We've always wanted to, but we actually were able to get some. And it's proven to be very nice because you have to keep baby chicks warm, okay? So when it's this time of year in the summer, or late summer, they can stay warm outside. You don't have to heat them as much. And like, for instance, right now, my indoor light that I use to heat them, which we're gonna go over soon, it actually died. It burned out, and they're not expensive. It's $10 for a bulb, but it burned out right when I was able to lower the temperature requirement, and it's able to stay that warm at night for them. So that's a good thing. This time of year, we're keeping them inside at night to keep them safe and also for the warmth. But then we move them outside, and eventually we're gonna keep them outside, separated from our big chickens, but they are going to be outside for the night just because we don't have to keep them inside because they are really dirty when they're inside. And that's the downfall of having them in the winter time, which is when a lot of people get them, is like early spring is when you start seeing them in different stores like Tractor Supply and stuff like that. Last night, these guys, and they just got to where they want to jump out at night. So we bring them in here to keep them safe, but we had to put this plastic, I don't know what it is, netting or whatever over it to keep them in, because if not, we would come out and there'd be poop everywhere. So they get a little brave, but every night, see? All right. There you go. Slide down. Oh, whoa, hey, ho. So you're gonna need a chicken thermometer. This one's a little dirty, and it gives you a breakdown, because I can never remember. We don't raise chickens enough. I mean, every year we're probably adding a couple, you know, maybe we'll have some loss or something. But so the first week they need to stay at 95 degrees, and this is a consistent temperature. So you see why we can bring them outside during the day, but then we need to bring them in at night because it still cools down. And then it needs to be 90 degrees the next week, and then 85 the third week. This is the low temperature that they need to be at. Because they're so small, they need to stay warm. So this is really gonna dictate what time of year you get them, and then what kind of equipment you're going to need. Are you going to need to keep them warm all the time or just sometimes? And that's why this time of year we're able to keep them in our garage at night, because it's still 80 degrees at night in there versus 75 degrees outside. And then we can also add a heat lamp, and then that will help as well to raise the temperature to whatever we need at that point. And if you're doing it in the winter time, then that's how you're going to do it. You're going to raise them inside under heat lamps. And it's just managing the distance from the heat lamp. This is my setup in my garage, and we have a tote here that we keep them at night, and then above it we have this, which has a heat lamp in it. Now the heat lamp did actually burn out, but this is the bulb here. This is the bulb, and it's just a red light. And now the red light's super important because at night you can leave this on, but the red color does not mess with your night vision at all, and it doesn't trigger anything in your mind like daylight or anything. So if you leave chickens under a white or a regular light overnight, they will actually start to go crazy because they don't ever think that it's night. They think it's always daylight. So you definitely want to use the red light. That's a heat lamp. And then I have it hooked here all the way up to my ceiling, and then this is a ratcheting clip, so we can raise it and lower it as we need, and then that dictates the temperature. So as this goes up and farther away from here, it will the temperature will change. It'll get cooler, or the closer it gets, it'll get warmer. And you'll be able to tell if your chickens are cold because like our light's hitting right here, and you'll see the chickens all, you know, they'll be on the outside trying to cool off, or they'll be on the inside, and if they huddle together. So you'll be able to tell in different ways. And that's how we heat within the garage here. So this is our permanent chicken station. And the good thing about this is it's super simple. It's not that attractive. But when I'm done with this, I can just pull it down, and there's a hook left up there that I can just reattach to. So the unfortunate thing is when you raise them inside in the winter time, because they like to scratch so much, they create a crazy amount of dust that will just release into your whole house. You know, in our garage, like we still are wiping stuff down. From our first chickens we got like 10 years ago, we still have chicken dust on some stuff that we didn't use a whole lot because we had an indoor basement, and so everything just got covered. It was insane. So that's why we opted to get them now, because overall it's cleaner and it's easier to get them in and out. But temperature is going to dictate everything in which you can and can't do. So we keep them in this dog crate outside, and we were able to get that off of like Facebook Marketplace. I think people, we got them from a dog trainer, and it was like 20 bucks for this big ass crate. And so the good thing about that is when it comes time to integrate your chickens into your, you know, if you already have a batch of chickens, which if you do, you probably don't need to watch this. But if somehow you came into some mature chickens and you need to introduce baby chickens, then it's a good way to keep them separated until they can figure out their pecking order, because there is a pecking order inside of your flock. Keeping them safe is key, because you're going to spend all this time taking care of them, and then you got to introduce them and then see what happens. You don't want them to fight to the death. Now we need to go get food. And there's one thing I know about little babies, baby children, baby chicks, baby anything, is they eat a lot. But there's a very specific kind of food that we want to feed our chickens. And you want to start them off with a medicated feed. And as soon as I get back to my shed back in the back 9, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But this feed will help them with different diseases and sicknesses that they can get early on, and just help protect them. And you don't have to keep feed them forever but at first you do want to give them this medicated feed. So this is what we use. It is a Start and Grow medicated crumbles, and it literally looks like what it sounds like. Okay, and then the directions on the bag will tell you how much to give per baby chick, and as they get older, how much to give them. The reason why we use this big dog crate and we keep all of our chickens covered the way they are is because the other day we came out here and there was a hawk right there, and you know that he was looking for a snack. So we got to make sure that we protect him. That we have to have our other chickens in the cage out back like they are, all locked up tight like that. But man, we had a hawk stuck underneath the hen house one day trying to get in, and it's constant pressure, predator pressure on these animals. So it's our job to protect them. You know, again, that's what we want to do. So we keep them out here and we keep them covered. Now what we'll do is we will end up, as they get a little bit bigger and they grow, I don't want to say they grow out of this cage, but as they get bigger, we have an open coop that I've used in some of my other videos that's movable. We got it off Amazon. It's like super cheap and rickety. But for the daytime, it's good because a lot of the predators aren't out as bad during the day. You know, you just have to worry about really the overhead predators. A lot of times, because I'm out here so much working as well, but that'll help keep them protected too. And it's really easy, and it allows them to get outside and get out in the grass and stuff like that, which is another benefit of having them in the summertime. So next is water. Water is super important. As you know, all life needs water. And you can give them water in anything you want, but chickens are slobs, okay? They don't care about anything. They are going to continuously kick stuff into their water. They're going to spill it, they're going to knock it over. So I highly recommend you get a chicken waterer. Now they do make little baby chick ones about this big. We get a little bit bigger ones for these guys just because more water, so less we have to come out. But every day you got to come out and clean them. And you're just going to have to scoop it. It's kind of gross, but you know, I mean, they'll poop in it, they'll do all kinds of stuff, but you want to get the wood shavings out. because that's what we line the coop with, and that just kind of gives them something to scratch and protect them, and it makes it easier to clean because they're going to poop in it and pee in it and stuff, and that way we can get everything out, keep it nice and clean, and keep it scent free, because that's really our goal too. Is we may have these animals here, but our goal is to not have any scent whatsoever, or very minimal, because quite honestly nobody wants to smell that all the time. And if you don't live on an actual farm like we don't, we live in a suburban neighborhood, but we happen to just have a really good piece of property, so when you see out back, it's not suburban, you know, but there's still neighbors around us, and so we want to keep it smelling good for them. And I would rather smell flowers than chicken shit personally. So hashtag just saying. Nice clean water. We're gonna fill it up, but you want to make sure that the water's coming out nice and clean. So we'll refill it, but just in general, clean water is always better. Another thing too is make sure that when you first get them, that you handle them a fair amount, because dude, the first week with baby chicks is amazing. They are the cutest things ever. Unfortunately, I made this video 2 weeks later, and you see how fast they lose their cuteness. They start getting their real feathers and stuff, but it makes a big difference. It makes them so they're used to you handling them, and they're not as scared of you. You know, it's amazing. And another thing is make sure that you get treats. So these are mealworms. So we get these and we feed them to them as little treats and stuff like that. And again, it gets them used to being around you. And that's really what we want to do. We want them to be used to being around us, so if we have to catch them, we can, because I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I can't run around and catch chickens, not like I used to. My son is not very good at it. It's hard to do. They're fast and it can be frustrating. So you can hear my big ones begging for food. So let's go check on them. See her? She knows. She knows the deal. So if you're thinking about getting baby chicks, the biggest thing is keep them warm, keep them fed, keep them watered, and keep them clean, and love on them. And that's really about it. They're really easy to take care of. They get such a bad rap for being loud. You know, pick the certain time of year that you want, and that's going to be a big dictator in how easy or difficult it is. But either way, it's as simple as getting a red light closer to them or farther away from them to cool them off. It's not a big deal. And then once you get them out of the house, they're out of the house. So I hope you like this. I love raising chickens. I love getting fresh eggs. You see me talk about them a little bit here and there on here, and we're gonna do more of that. And you probably hear about me talk about them on the Backyard Gardens podcast. So I love the chickens, and I wanna bring that joy into other people's lives. And they're so easy to take care of, it's crazy. So until next time, check out the Backyard Gardens podcast, give us a like and subscribe, and go get you some chickens, man. Go get you some baby chicks and love on them. So